Paranchikani vyaturnat swayambhuhu Tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman Kaschidhirah pratyagatmanamaikshat Avrutta chakshurramrutattvamichan Parachah kaman anuyanti balaha Te mrutyoryanti vitatasya pasham Atadhira amrutatvam viditva Dhruvam adhruveshviha na prarthayante In the morning we saw Balaha. Balaha means, in one word you can say, avivekinaha. Balaha means purudhartha nishchaya rahitaha. It is very important to discern what exactly I wanted. What exactly should I pursue? And if I put it in other words, to have the priority about what is to be done and what is not to be done. The subjective values are removed. That subjectivity keeps them busy for working for some flimsy thing, useless things, All these kinds of things, people waste their life in collection or in doing something or other. They are balaha, immature people. And since they are balaha, they don't have clarity about the priority of life. They don't have discrimination in their life. They mrutyos ho vitatasya pasham yanti. They gain or they reach. In fact, it is not gaining, there is no gaining also. There is no entering the net of Yama. They are already there. They remain in the net of Yama. Why Yama says this way? There are two definitions of mrityu. Avidya kama karma is mrityu, first of all. Means having self-ignorance, having ahankara, that itself is a mrityu. And that ahankara prompted kama and karma is a mrityu. So, mrityosya mrityam apnoti ananeva pashyati, that Upanishad mantra, he goes from one yoni to other yoni where there is ignorance, self-ignorance. Self-ignorance caused kama, desires, and desire caused actions, and action caused karma phalas. So he remains in the cycle of karma phala exhaustion, that is called balaha, who are committed to that. And that is why itself is a mrityu, avidya kama karma. Then another thing is pasham, pashyate badhyate, bound. So they are bound by upadhi. Okay? What is a upadhi bondage? Tadatmya with sharira, ityadi. So pasha means dehendriyadi vividha, dehendriyadi sanyoga viyoga lakshanam pasha. Repeated birth and death itself is a pasha. And that repeated birth and death, they don't see. Therefore, secondary passion, what is secondary passion? What we can call it as asakti. Vishasakti is Yama's pasha. Subjectivity is Yama's pasha. They become unhappy not for want of things, for haves and have-nots, but they are unhappy because of their own value structure, own ideals. And they are always busy in restructuring the world around what they have. And that is why they are busy in that. Another symbol, another way of looking death is, Mrityu Pasha is Dukkham. So Shankaracharya ji write, what is another Vitatasya Pasham? Means Vistirnam Pasham. They go to very enlarged or all pervasive Pasham. What is that? Anavarata Janma Marana Jara Rogadi Aneka Anartha Vratam. They have varieties of dukkhas which are symbolized by Janma, Jara, Marana, by birth, old age, and death. So the whole life, their existence, is full of Trivida Pida, either physical, mental, or psychological, Adhyatmic, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Daivik Dukkha. They are always suffering for want of some little Sukham. They think they got some Sukham, but they are all the time getting nothing but Dukkham. That is called Vitatasya Pasha. That Mrityu Pasha is everywhere, two ways. There is not a single place, not a single moment where you are free from dukkha's. People think if I go from this country to that country, if I have break from here to there vacation, I will be happy. And therefore people migrate to different places. People go to different places hoping for Sukham. But there also there is Dukkham. It is going to people having dreams of going to heaven, Swarga. Once I go to heaven, I will be free from Dukkham. Modern thinking is I going to America. Once I go to USA, I will be free from all kinds of dukkhas, which is not true. There also is Dukkham there. In whichever way or whatever position you may be, there is always Dukkham. As Pujya Swamiji used to say, think of a single day, 24 hours of your life, where you had no Dukkham. You cannot find a single day. Right from childhood, the happiness station kept on shifting. By the time you reach this station thinking this is happiness, then it shifted to something else. Then by the time you reach there, then you discover it shifted to something else. Not 24 hours. There is no relationship wherein you can be completely happy. They say, my life is incomplete without you. It will remain incomplete. Sometimes it may become more incomplete with you. And then they have to realize that fact. No relation can make you permanent happy. No, Desha, Kala, Vastu, Maryada is not there with Yamaraja. If Yama means Dukkha, Yama Pasha means Dukkha. See, birth itself is no problem. But during every avastha of life, there is Dukkham that is always accompanying. Nothing wrong in being born. If you are born with this knowledge, that is fine. You know I am Ananda. Let the body work in its own way. But every hour, people, this WhatsApp goes on for last 15 years, Okay, when I was young and middle-aged and all, people asked me, what do you want to become? When I was a child, they asked. Having grown up, I realized I want to become child. You might have heard that. But as a child, I remember I was not happy. Nobody was happy. You think it's an avastha of carefreeness, but that is the avastha of most dukkham because you are always dependent. And sarvam paravasham dukkham. Any state where you are dependent, it is painful. You wanted another chocolate when we were children. Second chocolate was also not given. Khadi to khari, bas wo dekho. They decide how much chocolate should I eat. Their parents and elders decided. I wanted to go out, I was not allowed to go out. All that pain of childhood buried under the carpet of unconscious, I am not given freedom, not given freedom. When they become teenage, the volcano bursts. I am not going to listen to anyone. That's it. Child avastha, balya avastha is also dukkham. Youth is further dukkham, and vruddha avastha is further dukkham. People tell us when we go for bhiksha and the old mother or old father is little physically handicapped or something, they walk slowly or whatever, either they are in bed, they say, typical Gujju, bas ave Bhagwan upadi le. Let God take me away. Means I want to die. I said, why you want to die? I don't want seva from anybody. Nobody wants to. I don't want any help from anybody. Because the whole old age is an age where you become more dependent, and that is a dukkha. If not physical, the people are dependent emotionally. Because nobody is interested in you. And some people say, now Bhagwan utha le. I feel like telling him, do some dieting. Bhagwan will have back problem in L4, L5. You are already 85 kg. How will he take you? Is a way of saying. They don't want. There is a beautiful shloka, in Bhajagovindam. Yavat vitto parjana saktastavat nija parivaro raktaha paschat jivati jarjarte vartam kopi na pruchati ge. As long as you are capable of earning, vitta uparjana, parivara raktaha, family is interested in you. Once you have lost that capacity of earning, paschat, jivati, he survives, pulls on, jars there with a dilapidated body. Vartam pruchati nakopi ge. Nobody asks you, how are you? Casual inquiry, nobody has time to talk to you. See, you should understand these shlokas. You can't translate that as this because in India you may find so many children taking care of the parents. So many children, parents didn't earn but had left some debt, and he became a doctor, or engineer, businessman and paid the debt and still takes care of the parents. So you can't say as long as you are earning they are taking care of you. That's not a general rule. Vitta uparjana means what? Not capacity to earn, capacity to oblige. As long as you have some power to oblige somebody, as long as you are useful to others, or at least you have capacity to be useful to others. Parivaraha means the retinue, friends and relatives and whole group. They are interested. Once you lose any capacity to oblige anyone else, nobody is interested in you. I have seen so many ministers. When they come, one is coming day after tomorrow here to Mostly they are coming here. So there is a big retinue. Everybody wants photograph and they are around that retinue. Parivara means retinue. They are all there. Once the ministry is out, nobody there. A couple of chief ministers. Chief minister is a big thing in India. They have told, not me but Mataji, please tell Swamiji to give us time now, nobody talks to us. I had no connection. When they were CM, I was nobody. And now I am somebody, they are nobody. But I don't have that somebody, nobody business. I am just doing my work. But they are so left alone. It's a God. They have their own priorities. That the old age is full of dukkham. Even if you are physically okay, that emotional need of sense of belonging, sense of being useful is never fulfilled. More so in India these days also. Children have moved away from the parents. I had taken a vow once a time that I will never inaugurate a senior citizen home. Because in the 80s and 90s I thought we should work to give samskara to children. So I was doing those children programs and give them values and all that. Now I am the one who is opening, and I opened one senior's home and by one of the team members. The children are not there, one or two child they have, and they study certain discipline by which there is employment possibilities not there in the town. So they go out. Either they go to Bangalore or Pune or Gurgaon or USA. In all these places, once they go, this is Mukta Purushaha, Yat Gatvana Nivartante. And the typical Indian old man doesn't like to live in US. So they have money, lot of money people. In Ahmedabad, one of my devotee sponsored a scheme, give tiffins. When they grow old, there is nobody to cook, nobody to maintain the home. Then seniors, bureaucrats, secretary level people, multi-millionaire people. And that American children tell that I don't want a single penny of yours. You donate your house and property to whomsoever you want to give. I'm not going to come back to do your paperwork in India. You see? They are so fascinated by pleasures and their lifestyle. With wife and children, nobody cares. You are useless for them any which way. This is how the world is. Therefore, nobody likes Vruddhavastha. And we should thank, see, this is what Balaha. We should thank American lifestyle. In India, we have these four ashrama, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. So after Grihastha, you have to get into Vanaprastha. And generally, Vanaprastha should come by 45, 50, you should take it. America gives you Vanaprastha by 40. Once the children go to university, the couple is left alone. Since then they should understand that now we have to take to sannyas. And then they don't take to sannyas. The whole system is such. They study, for study they will go to university, and the cities are so big, even if in the same town, fellows live somewhere else. And work demand is so much, except weekend he or she is not free. And on the weekend also they have a lot of things, socializing and children. And now once they have children who are 10 or 12 years old, that is mother's travel agency starts, pick up and drop weekend, because their activity is extra. And once they are gone, university finished. This is dukkham is a problem. Mrityoho pasham. Mrityu symbolizes dukkha. Childhood is full of dukkham. Middle age is full of dukkham. Youth, old age. Old age is full of physical and emotional. Childhood, all kinds of dependence. That later on, when you start working, there is a cognitive dukkham, self-respect, ego dukkham. I didn't get proper position, didn't get this money, didn't get this respect, blah, blah, blah. Whole life is full of dukkha. There is not a single home or single family which has no dukkha. Therefore, vitatasya pasha, yama pasha is across the world. It is in any place, in any home, in any situation, it is always there. And Yamaraja says, they yanti. If you say literal meaning, Yama means death. He says, I don't have to go to catch them. They come to me. Yeah, like the fisherman standing with the net. I don't go around to catch the fish. They come to me. Like this, these fellows run to death. As Swamiji used to say, this fellow is buried and it is written, John 1962-2019. Means he was born in 62 and he dashed to death. All the way he dashed, running towards that. Even inviting trouble. This is so vivid to me today. See, we grew up in dearth and scarcities. Even full electricity was a big luxury, full power. 60-volt bulb, if there was no tube light, 60-volt bulb gave light worth 25 volt. Fan was a luxury. He always had the table fan. And then in Gujarat summer, that fan will not suffice because the first person is obviously the father. And then seniority wise your bed comes. So everybody used to sleep on terrace. You had to fetch water. Is also not regularly coming. Two-wheeler was a status symbol. Two-wheeler, forget about car. And that too in university when you go with a cycle, you are in that class. Because you have a cycle which was used by your eldest brother, then number 2, number 3 and you are 4. But still you have cycle. That was the thing. All kinds of have-nots. And we always thought, if this happens, if that happens, we will be happy forever. Like story, prince and princess then lived happily forever. Refrigerator was not there, room heater was not there, nothing was there. All technical gadgets, even up to 80, 90, 75, 80, telephone was luxury in India. And that too people used to say it is working. Telephone working. 12 days in a month. Still it was luxury. Now everything is on fingerprint. Just fingertip. And it is so automated that car also you don't have to put the keys. Just start. And it goes, and now with this new Tesla, which I drove last year, you just hold the steering, program it and just touch it. It takes brake and it moves and takes you home. Self-programmed cars are there, which was a dream. We never imagined that you can have a telephone wherever and you can use telephone wherever you go. Telephone itself was a luxury, and in the movies, the status of rich man was he had a long cable for telephone. The rich man would be sitting in another room and the servant will come with the phone. That were the scenes we used to have. Because if you have a house and telephone, people used to run. Because before you reach, the ring gets disconnected. So long cable was a luxury. What we don't have. Technology has created heaven. This world is no less than heaven. All pleasure, all of kama, objects of pleasure for every indriya, for eyes, ears, nose, tongue and touch, the best possible available. Still, life is full of dukkha. That is yama. It is more often than not today the relationship problems. Just opposite. We had to relate to minimum 1 to 2 dozen of people. First of all, half a dozen sibling volleyball team was common. Cricket team was not uncommon. And cousins and uncles and aunts and neighbors and all people. So if you draw it in a mathematically, in a corporate jargon, you have your circle of space. That circle was intersected by so many people, your space was only this much, little space. No private room, no private time. It's all you, everybody together. Now there is only this much social interaction, but still unhappy. Can't relate to one person for 20 years, 10 years. Easy. Yama. Papam. May not have physical papam, but emotional. And people fail to accept the fact this is how this idiot is. Forget it. But they keep clinging on to relationship. They keep clinging on to certain things which are unwarranted. That is what vitatasya pasham. Amrutasya, the pasha, that which is bound, bondage of Yamaraja. It means dukkha caused by Yamaraja is across. A small thing can become a cause of dukkha. You keep seeing this nowadays media. The people take divorce or children run away from the home just because dad did not give me iPhone. All kinds of things. Bala. Small things. This what I feel. The change nowadays has taken place. Small thing is becoming big. For becoming happy and for becoming unhappy. That is bala. Small things. They get into some game and corporate, some competition and $100. Hey, $100. They become excited. What's that? They lose something and then become so unhappy. Oh, I lost. I have seen many at the airport. Oh, I lost the flight. What a big deal here. Buy another ticket and go. Incapacity to accept failures. Incapacity to accept unpleasant situation is so much today. Vitatasya pasha. You may create 1,001 means to make humanity happy, but then Yamaraja is always ahead of them. They create 10,001 causes to become unhappy. Balaha. That is what it is. That is there is a prayer, that Bhajagovindam sloka, very famous. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare shayanam. Iha samsare, bahudustare, krupaya pare, pahi murare. Punha janaha, jananam, maranam means dukkham. From one dukkham to another dukkham, and another to another. as I said, not a single day of happiness. 24 hours when you are happy is not there. And that so-called unhappiness is so much. People look for addictions. Modern society is becoming more addictive. And they try to forget either through addiction. I mean, it is also another thing, also addiction, in a way getting involved into certain activities. Social media, they try to forget the dukkham. That is why it is called vitatasya pasha. Because of immaturity and because of extrovertedness, Yamaraja says, I don't go to catch them, they come to me. The other meaning is also applicable here. So then, what's the way out? Then he says, the same thing. He says, Athadhira amrutatvam viditva dhruvam adhruveshviha na prarthayante dhiraha vivekinaha. Okay? The discriminative ones. Adhruvam iha na prarthayante. They don't desire. They don't seek. They don't pursue. Dhruvam. Dhruvam means permanent. They don't seek the immortality or you can say total happiness or total fullness. They don't seek fullness or happiness amongst these mortal things, among these sources of unhappiness. Or you can say they don't seek satyam amongst the mithya. Adhruva means this is all mithya. To seek satyam in mithya is adhairyam, means bala. Or to seek fullness in these worldly situations, worldly objects, here or hereafter, drashta adrishta vishayeshu. That is balatva. This dhiraha na prarthayante. They don't seek anything like that. Why they don't seek? There he says, amrutatvam viditva. Here, discriminative one can be interpreted little differently. Dhira Shabda is there in the previous sloka also. Kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat avrutta chakshuhu amrutatvam. Here he says, dhiraha, atha dhiraha amrutatvam viditva nahya dhruvam prapyate hi dhruvam tat. That discriminative one is vairagyavan, who has dispassion, who understands in the first mantra that Vishayas will never give me sukham and I don't get what I want. That is their understanding. And therefore they become introverted. Nathadhira amrutatam, they become introverted. What is the slow? That look at the context. Paranchi khani vetrunat swayambhuhu kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat avrutta chakshu. Avrutta chakshu san pratyagatmanam aikshat. He becomes introvert, he or she, and sees the self. Here dhiraha, he says, atha dhiraha amrutatvam viditva, having known immortality. So here dhiraha means vivekinaha, but what kind of vivekaha? Nitya nitya vivekinaha, satya mithya vivekinaha. Those who have a discrimination of satya and mithya, or have discrimination of nitya and anitya. This type of vivekinaha. This vivekinaha, since they are nitya viveka, atha dhiraha amrutatvam viditva, this viveki, they know the maryada of Vishaya Sukham and thereby they became introvert they had a desire for mokshecha, amrutatvam icchan, and they went to teacher and studied the Shastra. And through study they gained Satyamithya Vivekaha. And in that Satyamithya Vivekaha, Dhruvam means Dhruvam means perishable or imperishable. Adhruvam means perishable. That they don't seek immortality. Why they don't seek? They know I am immortal. I am Dhruvam. The whole world is Adhruvam. So they don't seek anything out of the world. For having, they become, you can say, they become free from desires. This is like that. This is the verse which is you can say the essence of that second chapter verses, Tita Prajna chapter. What is this? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha Tita Prajnas tadochyate. You should know the prose order properly. Like that shloka, in different shlokas of Gita, if you don't know the Tatparya, then you may misunderstand. Yoga karmasu kaushala. That is most misunderstood. It is not dexterity in action is yoga. Yoga in action is dexterity, kaushala. Karmasu kaushalam is not yoga. Karmasu yoga is kaushalam. Why? Karma is a means for bondage. Kruti maho dadau patana karanam. But still you employ the same karma as a means of liberation. That is kushal karma. You convert your crisis into opportunity. As our Prime Minister says, this is famous sentence. He is the one who is, what you should say, he is the one most hated also. And people use all kinds of words, his opponents. And so he says, they throw stones at me, but through the stones I built my empire. It's a typical Gujarati proverb. So that is Kaushalam. Somebody is trying to destroy you, through that only you become strong. So karma generally destroys or binds the person, but you use the karma as a means for freedom. Kruti maho dadau patana karanam. Saeva karma. Ishwararpitam nichaya krutam. Chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam. Chittasya ashuddhi karanam api chittasya shuddhi karanam bhavati. Samsara mahadadau patana karanam api mukti sadhakam bhavati. That is Kaushala. How you do? Similarly, this verse, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnas tadochyate is to be seen this way. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha tasmat sarvan kaman prajahati. Not otherwise. He gives up all desires and therefore becomes satisfied in himself and by himself. That fellow is sthita prajna. He atmanyeva atmana tushtaha syat yada tada sarvan kaman prajahati. Nahya prapyate hi dhruvam tat. Nahya dhruvaihi prarthayante. This verse. So Gitaji is called essence of Upanishad. Therefore we chant, Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishads. So these are the mantras, are the seeds from which such shlokas have come. How, when he knows the self, When one gives up desires means what? Understand. First of all, you should know that you can never give up desire. Because they don't come to you asking for your permission. Can I come? Desire. No, you just find yourself desiring. This kamaha or desires are of two types. And without desire, nothing can be done. Even Shankaracharya had a desire to write Bhashyam. That's how he wrote. And every guru has a desire to teach. Otherwise, guru will never teach. Then where is the parampara? Guru Shishya parampara will be gone. Or else, the guru, once he becomes Brahmagnani, will have no desire. So no desire to teach also. So gurus make sure before I become Brahmagnani, I should teach. That means fellow is ignorant and teaching. It is not Jnana Parampara, Gnani Parampara, it is Agnani Parampara. You cannot have that. It is there. Who doesn't have desire? You always have it. Desire per se is not bad. So much so, Bhagavan claims that I am the desire. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Which category of desires these people give up, you should know. There are two types of kamas, binding kamas and non-binding kamas. There are transactional desires and there are desires for moksha, ultimate desires. That is the problem. You seek something to become happy, to become full, to become complete, to gain some peace. That is a kama, binding desire. For fullness is a binding. Out of fullness you may have desire. There are certain desires which are natural. That you desire to eat is natural. You cannot, if the fellow gives up all desires, that means he will not aspire to eat also. Somebody has to remember and feed Mahatma. Khane ka time ho gaya, khao. And somebody has to give him water also. And he has to be reminded for the call of nature. Now go. This is not that. As long as you are alive, you have to interact with the world. For interaction, you have to do certain actions. And depending upon your position, you are expected to do something. You cannot say that I don't have desire and therefore I will not work. The desires which are binding in nature means my fulfillment depends upon the fulfillment of a given desire. Or desires which are self-becoming desire. I always want to become somebody. I become something, then I will be happy. I do something, then I will be happy. Those are binding desires. Only that is given. When my happiness or my fullness depends on becoming, they have to be given. I am happy in being whatever I am. Physically, upaditaha. Because I am always ananda. Let there be physical limitations, I don't care. Let there be physical problems, I don't care. I am not the body-mind complex. They being what they are, they will be always limited, body-mind complex. They being what they are, they will always cause some unhappiness to you. But it is at not Atma level, it is at Upadhi level. That distinction, Viveka, is there. So those desires, as I said, transactional desire is there. But I am independently happy without that. Therefore, Prajahati, in fact, doesn't give up, things drop off. When you discover fullness, that is you don't desire for something which is small or insignificant. As in the same section, in the concluding verses, he says, Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadvad. Tadvat kama pravishanti sarve sa shanti mapnoti nakama. Means fullness is like ocean. Infinitude. Infinitude or fullness is something that which cannot be improved upon. Ocean. Very beautiful example. Millions of cusecs of water goes to ocean in monsoon. Across the world when the monsoon season is there. But the ocean doesn't get flooded. It is so full, it remains as it is. And suppose there is a drought and there is no water flowing into ocean, it is not that the sea beach, the ocean water gets receded and the plain land is now more available. Manhattan and our Mumbai fellows will build apartment because within that time, in short time, they will start apartment. No, ocean is full. Entering waters of river in an ocean doesn't impact, or not entering water in ocean doesn't impact its fullness. So also, having Vishaya Sukham or not, it doesn't impact me. Naksashanti tadvat pravishanti kamaha sarve. I may get all pleasures. What is there in prarabdha? He may live a life of king, or he may live a life of a pauper, it doesn't matter. I have happiness. That's a freedom. So the dependency is gone. So, amrutatvam viditva, having known amrutatvam, nahya dhruvaihi, adhruva means immortal, anitya. Nityam na prarthayante, athat in apurnata, incompleteness, they don't seek completeness. Because they know, I am Purna, I am Ananda. Or they see the whole world as mithya. When I know I am the Satyam, substratum of all mithya, I am the Satyam of all mithya, they don't seek any mithya anymore. Dhruva Shabda can be interpreted as Satyam and Adhruvam can be interpreted as mithya. Relatively speaking, an example that comes to my mind, we had a game called Business. It was, I don't know whether you have in Japan or other countries, that it was a board and you play and you have given currency and different houses. We had houses in Bombay houses, on Churchgate and Chennai Road and blah blah blah. In between some companies you own. If you reach there, you buy that company. So when you buy the company and such your partner, co-player comes to that home, he or she has to give you rent and you get money out of it. So people are in a spree of buying. And in between there is jail also. If you go there, you are jailed. In our Indian business. That means you have to pay the fine and skip the turn once or twice. Children, when they play, there are notes, there is not smaller denomination. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1,000, 10 lakh rupees currency. Big man. All are Zuckerberg and Buffett's. No small thing they have to talk. Ambani's and all. They get so excited if they get more rent. And if the co-partner or the co-player goes to jail, I will have 2 tons, you are in jail, pay the fine, blah, blah, blah. Because those currencies are real for them. The Gnani Purusha, who has Mahatma Gandhi's in the pocket, All our currency note have Gandhiji on it. Those notes don't have Gandhiji. So fellow who has those notes of RBI, adhruveshu dhruvam na prarthayante. He doesn't care whether I win or I lose, whether I earn or lose. He doesn't bother. But that is mithya. He knows it. And if you don't recognize Gandhiji as mithya, you are also Bala. That's all the difference is. This money and all that. Anyway, coming back to this, adhruvam, dhruveshu na prarthayante means desire drops off. The person doesn't have any desire to win the game, to defeat the grandchild. The grandfather may play with the grandchild. Freedom. Adhruveshu. So, and this for happiness also, these pleasures of the world are nothing but cause of dukkha. He doesn't go for them because he or she knows, I am Ananda. So this is Gnana Phalam. What is the result of the knowledge? In 2 shlokas, they showed the journey of a seeker. First step is to become introvert from extrovert. Kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshati avrutta chakshuhu amrutatvam icchan. The first step is to become introvert and nurture the desire for Atmagna. There are so many steps are missing here. And that desire, Vivek, Vairagya, Samadhamadi, Mokshecha, then comes Guru Upasadanam, then Guru Sushrusha Ityadi, then Shastra Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, and then Amrutatvam Viditva, having known the Amrutatvam. Then comes. Because earlier it has been discussed, in earlier verses they said, Tad Vijnanartham Guru Pariksha Lokan Kapar Karma Chitan Sarvan Guru Meva Bigachyate. It has been discussed. So he is just summarizing, not discussing in detail. But this is the journey. What is the journey? That I am born extrovert. There is a natural tendency to pursue Vishayas. And to put a halt or to slow down or to put a break is the human Purushartha. Animals also will go. How you achieve? Through Viveka and through Dharma. When you live a life of Dharma, you become free, relatively free from the pressures of likes and dislikes. Bahirmukta goes, becomes introvert. And again the life of Dharma and Dharma means contributory actions. What I have to give in. Those actions will lead to mokshecha. Amrutatvam icchan. And that mokshecha would lead to search for the solution. And go to teacher and study Shastra, etc. with proper infrastructure, inner infrastructure. Proper inner infrastructure means in terms of Shraddha, etc. Shraddha, Titiksha, Ityadi, that Shat Sampatti is inner infrastructure. That takes you to Guru and it has to be nurtured while living with the Guru. What? To gain the knowledge and to assimilate the knowledge also. They are needed to do Manana Nidhyasan also. And then you gain the moksha. This is how life is. We'll see the next verse tomorrow. Then he starts Vastu Nishchaya, Swarupa, describes what is Atma Tattvam, etc. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Mm-hmm.